Hey everybody, welcome to the Mountain Gamer. Today we're going to be taking a look at some new cave cards that I made for Runebound 3rd edition. Now if you've never played Runebound, quit this video right now and hunt down a copy if you can. It's a discontinued game and it's amazing. And you can probably get one for 50 bucks if you're lucky. If you're lucky. And if you can get the expansion too, Unbreakable Bonds, that would be something that I would recommend. Hey, my pantry's open here. Look at that. Alright, so I made a module called the cave module or expansion or whatever, and it enables you to go like under the map basically and have little adventures and stuff like that. And I have come up with 15 new cards, I think. So there were 20 in the old pack and now there's 15. So yeah, it just adds more stuff. Some of the stuff is even better, like good stuff, and some of the stuff is even worse. So yeah, so let's jump into it right now, and I'll flip through all the cards. If you like it, it's free. You can download it and play with it and have fun. And if you actually really do like it, well, you can send me a little something via PayPal. You know, just because you're nice. So there you go. Let's get into it right now. Today we're looking at some more caves for Runebound 3rd edition. Now I made a bunch of these, they're already up, I made a video on those. People seem to like them. I've had a guy contact me on BGG and he translated the whole thing in Italian, just for, for his group. So that was pretty cool, Now I've made some more. I've made like 15 of those, 15 more, and we'll look at some right now. Now if you don't know what caves is, it's a little module that you can add in Runebound that I came up with, and it's very simple. Let's look at the rules right here. Now what happens is you can enter the caves if you are on an uninhabited or an uncivilized mountain hex, okay? For an action you will go into the caves, and then you'll have some adventures, and then eventually you can step out of the caves by exiting on any uncivilized mountain hex. So you could basically like enter here, have a bit of adventures, and then like come out all the way here. Boop, crossing the map. This is particularly useful when you want to cross from like way down here all the way to, way up there. So yeah. So we can check out the rules really fast if you want. So there you go, beneath Terrinoth, there is a vast network of caves running under the land. Will you risk venturing into this uncharted labyrinth? While on an uncivilized mountain hex, you may spend one action to enter the caves. So things you can do in the caves, you'll spend 2 actions to draw a cave card, and then you'll travel the caves. Fine, so flip over a card, see, there's gonna be a bit of story, you'll do a thing. There you go. Now most of the time, if it says keep this card as a trophy, this thing is worth any type of trophy. They're wild, okay, which is pretty cool. Other times you'll get gems. Now gems, you can trade them in any civilized hex, I believe, or any city. It'll say on the back here. All gems that you gain can be later traded for 1.5 gold rounded up in any city for 1 action. Okay. Alright, so once you're in the caves, you can spend the 2 actions to flip a card. You can do the rest action, but only mountain or wild results will count. So if you're down and out and you get beaten up in the caves, it's hard to rest. While you're in the caves, you can learn a skill, for free as usual. You can spend actions to trade with your party, if the party goes in the caves with you. You can spend 1 action to exit the caves and place your figure on any uncivilized mountain hex on the map, providing you have already resolved at least 1 cave card. Because you can't just go in and then appear on the other side of the map. I want you to have at least 1 adventure before you do that. Things you cannot do in the caves include move, shop, train, and adventure. So of course you can't move because your figure is just laid down and considered to be sort of underground, right? So you can't move, you can't shop because you're not in the shop, you can't train because I said so, and you cannot adventure because there are no adventure tokens inside the caves. Now, the main, in the original cave deck, the main thing that you would be doing most of the time, right, is you would be doing tests. Like here, okay? Test eyeball and use your perception skills to determine which is the safest way. 0 success, 1 success, 2 success, 3 success. Now getting 3 success is incredibly hard, but I came up with this thing, which actually exists as 1 skill card can tell you. You can actually take damage instead of exerting, okay? So it says here, when exerting, you may choose to suffer 1 damage instead of discarding 1 skill card. Doing so is the same as regular exerting. So basically you'll go in the caves and then it's like, oh man, I need to get 3 successes, I only got 1. Well, I don't have any more cards to exert, so I'll take a damage. I'll draw another card. I'll take another damage, draw another card. So you'll kind of weaken yourself just to get successes, okay? So going in the caves sometimes is good, but sometimes is bad, all right? If you become defeated in the cave, you must take a rest action before anything else, just like if you were on the board. Your hero is considered on an uncivilized mountain hex, okay? This is because if there's something in the game that says, you know, every hero in the wilderness or whatever, even though you're in the cave, you're still on the map, okay? And it says here, note, roaming enemies may still attack your figure. Now, if you don't know what roaming enemies are, I'll put a link in the description. It's a variant where you can have creatures on the map kind of hunting you down throughout the game. And then cave trophies are wild. We talked about that. Gems, we talked about that. And cave card effects only affect the active player. All right, simple enough. So let's look at some of the new cards here. All right, here we go. All right, Sunken Sinkhole. You've seen the gaping holes everywhere. It was just a matter of time. The ground suddenly gives way from under you, sending you plummeting down. You quickly glimpse a rocky outcropping below. If you could only reach it. Aim for the ledge. Explore to roll at least one mountain. You may not suffer damage to exert. What, Steve? You're breaking your own rules. Yeah, that happens. On a success, you take one wound, and then you may explore for free. That's what that means. Explore means draw another card. And then discard this. So see, you're not keeping it as a trophy. I should mention this deck is, I would say, more than half bad, or half bad, half good. Because some people were complaining that the original deck it made the game too easy. I disagree. People who say that, I believe, did not play with the thing enough, okay? Because I got stuck in the caves a few times and I walked out of there with like one trophy and it took me like 2.5 turns to get it and I was beat up. It happens. And then on a fail, you take 2 wounds and then you either lose 2 gold or a gem and then discard this. So see, this one is just bad, just really bad. We got one here. Yeah, these are the bad cards. There's actually 2 of those: Weakening Water and Poisonous Pollen. This I got from. It's an idea I got that a guy was trying to make like wounds basically on BGG, and there's a lot of them. I took some of the ones that I found the most interesting and I sort of implemented them here, so you'll see here. Okay, Weakening Water. Bad luck. You find a hole in your canteen. Parched, you drink from a dripping stalactite. A few hours later, you feel yourself draining away. Roll a d3 to determine your condition, which will be ongoing. So you roll a die, and then whatever you get, you can be unfocused. Your attacks deal -1 damage. Yeah, so you would keep this. Okay, let's go to the bottom here. Keep this card and apply its effect. To discard it, spend an action in a civilized hex. So you'll have to exit the cave, go to a civilized hex, and then spend an action to get rid of one of these conditions. So unfocused is attacks deal -1 damage. Feckless is you have -1 initiative, and Clumsy, the first shield you spend in combat to block damage, blocks -1 damage, so very bad. There's another one here, Poisonous Pollen. I'll let you read it if you want, and we're moving on. You've got here Spirit Story. A talkative dwarf has been accompanying you for almost a full day now. Not that you asked him to. Among his babbling, you have learned of the story of a specter, the ghost of a wealthy pirate, supposedly existing in limbo somewhere in the cursed ruins. Apparently, his spirit aches to be set free. Quest, so you can keep this. Start your turn in the cursed ruins to do one of 2 things as a free action. You can set the specter free, test Spirit +1 to take this card as a trophy, or raid the specter's hoard. Test Strength, then test Eyeball? What is that? Acuity? I never remember that. Well, whatever, Eyeball, to gain $5. Pass or fail, discard this card. Okay, so you can try to set him free to get this as a trophy, or you can raid him to gain some money, but do not keep this card. Pretty good, pretty, straightforward stuff. World of Wares. You come across shady merchants who use these tunnels to smuggle goods illegally between cities. They let you in on what assets they know are about to arrive at the Forge Market. Benefit from this knowledge. Draw the top 6 cards of the asset deck. You may discard any number of asset cards currently in the Forge Market and replace them with assets you have just drawn. Discard all other extra asset cards. Finally, discard this. So this is just to gain information. So thematically, these guys are letting you know what's coming down the pike. Or you can take no part in this mercantile misconduct, keep this card as a trophy. Alright, whatever suits you best. Next, Crystal of Clarity. A glimmer catches your eye. This is no ordinary gem. Drawn in, you reach for it. but upon making contact, you instantly feel it filling your head with strange visions. Rumor, keep this card. At any time on your turn, you may spend one action to test Spirit +1 to make sense of the images in your mind. If you succeed, you may look at the top card of any and all decks in play. Adventure, assets, skills, cave, story, then discard this card. So see another thing here where it's information, or fight against this vile attempt to probe your mind. Take 2 wounds and keep this card as a trophy. Alright, so this is a variation on the same theme, basically. And next, it's been a while since I've read these, so I'm kind of surprised myself. Strongbox. You find your way blocked by a large, battered chest, most likely left here by thieves. It is locked, but you think you hear the clanking sound of gold coins inside. Force it open. Take 5 damage to gain 2 gold, then discard this. Even if damage results in defeat. Okay. Or push it aside. Exert once to discard this, then explore again. So you could decide to just screw this. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking 5 damage. So you'll exert once, and then explore again means draw another card. Okay. Exiled Educator. You come across a traveler who tells you she has greatly improved her abilities by way of a reclusive teacher living in the Greenwood. Quest. Spend 1 action to explore the Greenwood and search for the teacher by rolling Forest. Success. Search the skills discard pile for any skill that boosts one of your attributes. Learn that skill for free, no trophies needed. That's actually awesome. Overpowered? Yeah, probably. But I mean, you probably got screwed with them with some other cards, so you know, reward. And if you fail, you may keep this cave card as a trophy or try to explore again, now or later for 1 action. So even if you fail, you can still try to do this, because it's pretty cool. If you go to the discard pile and you get something that boosts your, I don't know, your eyeball or whatever by 2 or 3 or something, that's pretty damn nice. And then in the meantime, you may explore again. This is like one of the best cards, right? So you'll keep this and you'll keep exploring. All right, let's see here. Tenacious Tracker. There's actually 2 of these. All right, if you don't like that, you can take one out or whatever. These are bad, basically. It's like an ambush, okay? Tenacious Tracker. You were so careful to avoid them while you were on the surface, but now one of them has managed to hunt you all the way down into these caverns. Fight a roaming enemy. If not using this variant, draw a random enemy from the combat deck. So there you go. So it says do not move any roaming enemy tokens because these guys are on the map usually. Enemy is considered on your current hex, which is a mountain for game effects. This enemy, roaming enemy or otherwise, has +2 health, but does not use the 2 attack token. That's if you're in Act 2, even if players are in Act 2. There you go. Disregard roaming enemy penalty for retreating. Okay. And then as a reward, you follow the enemy card reward, then discard this cave card. So this is just like an ambush. Next. Yeah, okay, Heroes Hidey Hole. I've made a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually. These are all good things. Okay, these are like, alright, you'll see. Heroes Hidey Hole. You come across a cache, most likely belonging to a traveling warrior like yourself. Luckily for you, 1 item has been left behind. You have found McCoy's Potion. You may keep this, see effect below, or test Spirit to take this card as a trophy. So it's your choice. You want a trophy? Keep it. If you don't, then, you know, this you keep this. So McCoy's Potion effect. Heal 5 as a free action, or spend 1 action to train, then heal all wounds. Huh. So see here, I mean, if you spend an action, you heal everything and you train. This sounds better to me. Or you could heal a 5 as a free action. In any case, it's still good. After any option, discard this. This card cannot be transferred to another player. So these are all the same, okay? They all have the same text here, they all have the same thing at the bottom, but they're all different things, and I can go through them really fast. These are all pretty much inside jokes or nerdy things, like McCoy, clearly he's from Star Trek. What? Star Trek Runebound? What are you doing? Yeah, I know, you don't like it, change it. Alright, there you go. You have found Zatoichi's Cane. You may keep this, you can test the eyeball to get it. Zatoichi's Cane effect. Put 3 counters on this card. During combat, in response to damage, you may remove 1 counter to test eyeball +1 to block 1 damage. There you go. So it's a cane, you can defend with it. If you don't know who Zatoichi is, he is a blind samurai, no, he's a blind ronin, basically. A blind Japanese warrior, and his cane actually hides a sword. Okay, this one here. You have found Rick James Rations. You may keep this, or test eyeball. Rick James's Rations. Put 3 counters on discard. During your turn, you may spend these counters as though they were actions. Take 1 wound each time you do so. So, Rick James, if you know the clip of him talking about a specific white powder. Yeah, so basically you'll hurt yourself to do some more actions because you're using Rick James's rations.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You have found Strider's boots. You may keep this card. Test fist to take this card as a trophy. So again, you either keep this or you test to take it as a trophy. So let's say you keep it. Strider's boots effects. Put 4 counters on this card. Each counter equals 1 wild movement point. You may spend these points as part of a move action, even if you do not spend dice. Once all counters are gone, discard this card. So basically, gives you some moves. And last but not least, we've got Hero's Hidey Hole. You have found Manowar's Song. If you don't know who Manowar is, do yourself a favor and Google it. So Manowar's Song, what would Manowar's Song do? Put 2 counters here. During combat, you may spend 1 counter to add 1 surge to a combat action. This is equivalent to spending a combat token showing 1 surge icon. Yeah, Manowar is awesome. It gives you some surginess. And there you go. So if you want to print those out, go ahead. So these are the new ones and these are the old ones. So in total, I don't know, there's like 15 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're at 25. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I would say 35. So there you go. Have fun, print those out, and let me know if you try them, let me know if you like it. So there you go. I hope you enjoy this stuff. Click like, subscribe, all that jazz. Don't forget to tell your mom about it. And I will see you guys on the next one. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button down below. Now, I know it seems like a very small thing to do, but it actually does help the channel when you do that. And if ever you should find yourself in a super generous mood, well, I do accept donations via PayPal. And anything you give, big or small, will help keep me going.
There's magic in the metal. There's magic in the soul.